Hello everyone, Auvbri here, and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4. Today we are building the Newcrest library. So this is a modern take on a library, and if you haven't watched any of my Build Newcrest series builds that is up on the channel right now, go check them out. They should be on the channel as the last two videos. So in Newcrest here, I wanted to do in all of my builds something like a cross between modern builds and builds that are like these industrial type builds. So you can kind of see the build in the background there that we did with the industrial strip mall build, which I thought looked really awesome. And yeah, I thought it looked really cool. But the last build that we did was a concrete modern house for a single couple, and I thought that was really cool as well. And seeing that this library is right next to like across the street from the strip mall, I wanted to do something ultra modern here. So I researched different types of libraries, and I actually worked with a couple of different pictures as well to kind of figure out what kind of style we wanted to have with this type of library. And this is a mixture between three different libraries that I saw online. So I tried to make it super modern, super fancy, and we have these really cool architectural features on this build. So we have the big roofing pieces here, but we also play around with two colors in between the mix. So I still wanted the build to be ultra modern, but I also wanted it to be like an art piece in itself. And yeah, I think it turned out really cool. So if you follow me on Discord, there's a link in the description down below to my Discord server. You would actually have seen this build yesterday on the server. So I usually excuse me, I usually tease my builds a little bit on the Discord server when I'm doing them, just to kind of tease you guys, and maybe you guys can figure out what I'm working on. You guys can see when I'm actually playing The Sims as well. But yeah, I teased this build and was kind of hoping that you guys could figure out what it was. Some of you said that it might be from like a university build. It's sadly not. I am unfortunately in a state with money at the moment where I cannot afford new expansion packs, so I'll have to wait until January to get it, but I will gladly wait for that. So because we don't have that expansion pack, we're actually working with CC again. I've saved all the links to the CC that I used in this build down below, so you can download the CC yourself if you so like if you want to. Yeah, it is the best way for you to actually get this build the way that I intended it to be, is to download the CC, because we do use a lot of CC in this build as well. There's 3 packs that we're using, and there's the new IKEA pack that I installed as well. And yeah, the Build Newcrest series here is gonna involve a lot of CC, so a lot of custom content from different creators around the place. I always try to find custom content that actually matches the style that the game has, so with the objects that the game has as well, so it doesn't look like too out of place. And yeah, that's kind of the aesthetic that I'm trying to go for. But again, with the build itself here, I wanted to make it look like an art piece, if that makes any sense. I wanted it to stand out. So we're working with the new column feature here, where you can actually raise them up and down, which is like, yes, we have been waiting for this for so long. I worked with that, and I put in a lot of architectural features on the outside as well. So we have the little fountain area here, which I thought was really cool, just to bring something different to the place. And again, Newcrest, my take on Newcrest is gonna be super modern. Modern builds are the builds that I do the best, and I wanted to have like this city with all these modern builds, some industrial builds thrown in there, but just, you know, overall modern builds all around the place. And I thought, you know, this is gonna be cool. So far we actually have 3 builds in this town of Newcrest. So we have the library here, again the strip mall, and the concrete modern house for a single couple, or you know, like a bachelor or something like that. It's very minimalist. It uses CC, and all of the builds in the Newcrest series here is going to use CC. Just to kind of play around with it, because normally in the past I wouldn't have used CC at all, but I'm starting to really like it, to be honest. It's something different and I really honestly enjoy it. But we have the basic shape of the build now. We have a lot of windows, as you can see, and I'm trying to do some architectural features outside as well, you know, just to make it different, just to make it interesting for the eye to look at. And I wanted to throw in some plants as well, not to make it too like harsh to look at. So we threw in some, you know, trees, groomed trees that is, but you know, trees nonetheless. And I wanted to throw in some colors. So this is where I start to play around with colors. So now at this point in time, we have this these two big cubes with lots of glass windows and this nice architectural glass piece in the middle. I wanted to have some lighting going around, so at night it would light up the building really nicely. I think that looks pretty cool as well. And I kind of, you know, started to look at, oh, I also placed light on the underneath the roofing pieces here. I did something different with the roofing pieces. It looks really cool. You're gonna see that in the end. When you kind of pan over the builds and you can see the light underneath, it kind of reflects around, bounces around the what is it called? Displays. Kind of like these displays that came with the Get to Work expansion. So you could place, you know, items on top of that. It's not actually tables, it's displays, they call them. So yeah, it looks really cool at night. But I tried to do something really cool architectural with this build. So we have these huge staircases in each side leading upstairs. I thought that was a really cool idea. It still does that thing where the freaking roof piece comes through the walls if you actually delete part of the room where the staircase is. I don't understand why after, what is it now, 6 or 7 years of The Sims 4, it still does that. But you know, it does, and it's just something we're gonna have to live with. Then we have some lighting pieces in the main area here, the entrance area. And I thought, okay, so let's throw in some colors. Initially, I wanted to have orange, blue, and red be the featured colors here, but I'm gonna go back and change the red color that we have here back into a white color. The reason for that is I thought, you know what, we can do something really cool with the colors outside if we only have 2 colors. So I decided to go back in, delete the red, and take it from there. And then it just really came down to dressing the place and going off of the checklist that The Sims have provided over in the left-hand corner, for you to actually, you know, see what needs to be in this build first to actually be functional. This is where I started adding color. So we had these colors, these 2 colors that I knew I wanted to use. So the orange and the blue. Now the orange is on the bigger build and the blue is on the other build here. I thought it was a really cool idea that the blue kind of looked like it was going all the way from the roofing pieces underneath the piece and then down underneath that again up against the wall. So it kind of looked like it was flowing from above but in the same pattern, you know? And I kind of continued that inside. So on the bigger half of the builds over here where we have a lot of orange, I actually put more blue inside that build and vice versa for the other side. So upstairs here in the orange area, the bigger part of the build, I decided to do a computer room. I don't know how libraries work in other places around the world, but here in Denmark, and I would imagine it like being the same thing around the world, but here we have kind of like these computer areas where you can sit down, borrow a computer, like research stuff, maybe you know, if you don't have a computer, that's a really good way to access one. So I thought that would be a nice computer room. It's kind of like secluded, and we still have books around, so people can still sit down and read a book if they want to. And in a lot of libraries, especially here in Denmark, there's also a lot of art pieces. So art is a great way, or libraries is a great way for an artist to actually display his stuff for free, because they change the exhibit once a month or something like that. And I thought that was a really cool idea to do that again, but here as well in the library, and kind of do that on these staircases in either end of, or both ends of the build. Going downstairs here, I wanted to have a big seating area here. Again, we're trying to make this a modern library, so I had to really get rid of my stereotypical way of thinking of a library when creating this. We needed two toilets, so I put them on top of the other first floor in the other half of the build. Made them really simple, really modern looking. And yeah, that's kind of it. Going downstairs again to the blue area, we just have to, like, I centered these a bit more so everything was fitting right. But again, this is a modern library, so I had to really rethink the way that I thought about a library, which meant that I had to have a lot of whites and grays and blacks, and throw in some pops of colors like I normally do in my modern builds. But in a library, in the middle here, I wanted to have a big open area so you could actually see what's a library right when you get in. In Denmark, when we actually borrow books from the library, it's all done digitally, so you don't actually almost never see any librarians anymore. There's a few, you know, who's there to put the books back and stuff like that, but everything here in Denmark is almost all digitally. Like the way that we communicate with the government, our banks, everything is almost digital. So I thought, you know, that's the way it's gonna be here as well. So I took some, you know, some cues from my real life as well, and throw in some more computer areas here just to make it really, really nice. And we're almost done here. I mean, I'm done with the outside. The inside was really easy once you actually got the hang of it, and that's why this build is only 16 minutes long, which for me is actually a very short video, because I usually take like forever to do a build in The Sims 4. You guys know that a build that lasts 25 minutes or more is a normal build for me, but this was actually really quick to do, and I love the way that it turned out. I think it's super modern looking, super refreshing, and definitely something of a different take on a library. So yeah, I really enjoy the way that it turned out. But you tell me in the comment section down below what you think about this library. As we jump into the video tour here, I was just fixing some of the windows, you know, they tend to disappear. And here we're flying over the strip mall area, and here we have the library on the other side of the street. I think it looks pretty awesome. Remember, if you want to get this build, you can. It is on the gallery right now. Just search my origin ID, which is Auvbri, and you should be able to find every single thing that I've done, or you can follow the download link in the description down below if I can get it to work this time around. It didn't for the last build, and it's still not working. I will hopefully put it down below so you can download it that way. Also remember, if you want to get this build, you might have to install the CC that I've used in this build, and there's links to all those 3 things in the description down below as well, so go check them out. And it's really awesome CC. I can highly recommend it. Really awesome stuff. Yeah, Follow me on Discord. Again, link in the description down below to my Discord server, where you can find streaming schedules, like little hints of what I'm doing, teasers. Contact me, ask me questions. It's a really good place for you to actually get in touch with me if you want to see what's going on in my day-to-day life and what I actually do for a living, and like in my apartment, in my own interior design and stuff like that. There's also my Instagram page, also a link to that in the description down below. And while you're down there, why not leave this video a big like, click the subscribe button, and recommend it to one of your friends. It really helps me out a great big deal. As we take a look at some of the last shots here, I just want to say to you guys, I'm super happy to be back at YouTube. I really hope you guys enjoy the content that I've put up lately. Even though I'm not actually going to be able to do any university stuff, I hope it's still considered great content. And there's nothing else for me to say other than have a truly fantastic day wherever you are in the world. And I'll see every one of you next time for another video. Bye guys.